Welcome to the popular video travel show, Boomer and Senior Travel TV. I'm your host, Debbie Gerber. I'm glad you're here to take a virtual vacation today. We're going to a popular world destination, the destination of South Africa. Now, South Africa offers a lot of varied and fun and very different and mostly unique for most of us things to do. One of the things that we had fun with was there was some ladies outside of one of our hotels that offered face painting. Now, this isn't the type of face painting that your kids have done at the school carnival or at your state fair. This is traditional face painting. You know, tribes have done this clear back in time. In fact, even the Egyptians used to use paint on their bodies and faces to reflect different things. It signified different things. Sometimes it meant the status in society. A lot of times it was used for the coming out of young girls, maybe as a priestess, or maybe it was just to show that they were old enough to have. When you get a chance to do something like this, I think you should do it. You should have the experiences. Yeah, it was kind of silly, and it was really kind of funny though, because a lot of the people on our bus tour afterwards said, "I wished I'd done that. That looks so fun." But at the time they thought, "Oh, it'll be kind of weird, and maybe people will look at me, and maybe it'll itch." And they had all of these questions of should I. They wanted to, but they just didn't take the plunge to do it. Me, on the other hand, I have gotten used to, if you get a chance to do something unique and different, grab a hold of it and do it, as long as it's safe, So this lady proceeded to paint a design onto my face.
That's a good picture. That's what I am. Is it a happy one?
Yes.
So, in your country, when would you do this? On celebrations only, or all the time?
All the time.
All the time.
Yes.
So where is everybody?
I want to design every day.
Different designs, or do you have specific ones like for family
Different
or for
design.
just for fun?
Yeah. Yeah, so beautiful.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
You can hear that I asked her if it had any particular significance, and she said no. I asked her if they do it all the time, and she said yes. And we did see people with the paintings or the designs, I should call them designs, on their face. I do know that when the tribes paint their faces for war or victory or a celebration or a rite of passage, they will do more things like smear it on, put it on with their fingers in patterns, do it all over their body. This was more of a decoration, and it was just fun, and I wore it all day. I wore it everywhere I went for the entire day, and I tried really hard not to touch it and itch it, and because it feels kind of funny on your skin if you've had that done. But just to go around with it on was just quite an experience, and people would ask about it, and I could tell them that I had it done at the hotel, and it was really fun, and it's just signified happiness in your day. That's what she told me when I asked her at the very end. So what does it mean? What does this design mean? And it meant happiness in your day. And it did. It gave me happiness in my day. So that was a special thing. Remember, any time that someone offers something. So she came and said, "Do you want your face painted?" Well, behind that is, I will either charge you for it or I will want a tip for it. And sometimes we forget to that is the case. If somebody offers something, a lot of times we think it's free. It's not usually free, or at least they don't want it to be free. And so when I had it done and when I was done, I gave her the money. It was just by tips. But I had checked prior to that. I saw that they were doing it, and I asked some of the ladies, what do they charge, or what is it? And they said it was tips, and I had figured out about what tips should be, and I wanted to make her day. But you don't want to pay too much, because if you pay too much, then they start to get upset and disgruntled if they don't get that much, or maybe somebody doesn't get as much as another person. So I gave her a $2 tip. It doesn't sound like a lot, but for the few minutes it took, that would have been a lot of money for her for the day. That was a very large tip for that service in South Africa. Being aware of your tips can really help. On our website, there is a blog on tips across the world. What kind of tips to give, when a tip is expected, how much a tip should be, how do you know how much a tip should be. So go to our website, www.boomerandseniortravel.tv, and look up the blog for tips. It will give you valuable information for your trips and your vacation. I wanted to talk about a couple of things that are fun and different things you can do. So we talked about face painting. One of the things that I always do is I look up, if I'm going to a new country, I look up the flag. I look up what's the national, flower or bird or animal. Different things that you will know. What is the most commonly eaten food? Things that you would want to know when you went there so that you could have something to look for and recognize. One of the things that I looked for on this trip was a wonderful flower. It's their national flower. It is the giant portia. There's a lot of different kinds of portia plants. The one that is their national flower is, sometimes it's called the honeypot or the giant sugar bush. But I looked at it. I was looking for the giant portia, so we asked about it, and they showed it to us. It looks like a big artichoke, and then it opens up into this big flower. Very pretty on these trees. It's actually a flower on a tree. Very nice. It was really fun when we found them and were able to take pictures of them and say, this is what we were looking for, the national flower of South Africa. So be aware of things like that so that you can take pictures of them and have them and know what those things are. The other thing I want to tell you is to always look not only down. A lot of times when you're going along, you're looking down at your feet area or down at the ground or maybe just straight ahead of you, but look up. There are wonderful things up. The sky, the sunsets. Oh my gosh, beautiful sunsets. The cloud formations are gorgeous. And we looked up in a tree and found something that was really unique, and it was in the daytime. We saw this wonderful owl, and he sat there and he'd look at us, and we took pictures of him from all angles, and he had these gorgeous eyes. So look up, look up. You never know what you'll see when you look up. Thanks for joining us at boomerandseniortravel.tv. I am thrilled to have brought you some things that I hope will make your vacation more fun and more interesting by doing some new things or checking to make sure you do things like look up. Thrilled to have you here. So glad to give you a taste of South Africa. Please share my videos with anyone you know that would be interested in a trip to South Africa, a virtual vacation, resources for teachers and homeschools. My videos are made for you. I would love to hear from you. Please give me comments. Tell me things that you would like to learn about or know about, or maybe even travel destinations you'd like to see. I'd love to hear from you. www.boomerandseniortravel.tv